Welcome to 168 Hours, Advice for Time Management, a College Readiness and Student Success Workshop module. As a college student at Lakeland, you know the importance of time management. You have a lot to do: school, work, family, and only a limited amount of time to do it. In fact, there are only 168 hours in a week, and most of us spend about a third of these sleeping, leaving us even less time to actually get things done. To ensure that you're making the best use of your hours, you need good time management skills. And to develop good time management skills, you first need a sense of how you currently use your time each week. To better understand this, I'd like you to participate in a short interactive activity. Please click on the link accompanying this video to download the PDF entitled 168 Hours handout. It should look something like this. If possible, please print this document out so that you can write on it. If you can't print, try to find a piece of paper and make some grid lines labeled with days and times, just as you see here. Now, I'd like you to start thinking about a typical week during your semester. Many of the obligations you have during a typical week are examples of committed time, time that you've already assigned to activities that aren't optional. Some of the most important examples are sleep, class, and work. You have to devote time to these. If you don't sleep, you can't function. If you don't attend class, you will automatically fail. And if you don't work, you might not have money that you need. That's why these activities represent committed time. On your weekly schedule sheet, go ahead and block out with pen, pencil, or highlighter the areas of committed time. Here's an example. This person has to work from 9 to 3:30, Monday through Sunday. I've also blocked out when this person has class in the late afternoon and evening, Monday through Thursday. Go ahead and block out anything else in your schedule that is committed time: cooking dinner, picking up kids from school, etc. Work, class, and sleep are just a few examples of committed time. Pause the video if you need more time. Next, I want you to consider the discretionary time in your schedule. Right now, discretionary time is all the space you have left now that you've blocked out your committed time. Discretionary time is time you can devote to activities that are optional. Common examples are time for friends and family, studying, and entertainment. While each of these activities I've listed is important, they are more optional than going to work, attending class, or sleeping. For example, you can't really choose not to go to work if you have bills to pay, but you can choose whether or not to go to the movies for entertainment. That's why time for friends and family, studying, and entertainment is discretionary time. Go ahead and block out on your weekly schedule sheet how you typically use your discretionary time, just as you did for committed time. Here's our example again. To this person's schedule for work, class, and sleep, I've added when he typically studies and spends time with friends and family. Again, pause the video if you need more time to complete your own schedule. You must be finished making your typical schedule in order to do some important calculations about your week. Most importantly, how many hours did you block out for studying or doing homework? Go ahead and add them up for the entire week. If we look back at our sample person's schedule, we can see that he studied for a total of 7 hours during the week. Now back to the calculation. Again, our example person blocked out 7 hours of study time. Is that enough? Lakeland recommends studying 2 hours per week for every credit hour you're taking. Our example person is taking 6 credit hours, which means he should have studied around 12 hours per week, which is significantly more than the 7 he actually planned out. Based on your credit hours, how did your schedule compare to the recommended study time? If you blocked out fewer hours than recommended, you should reflect on how you typically use your time each week. Think back to the activities that you blocked out in your schedule's discretionary time, things like time with friends and family, studying, etc. These are the activities that are not immediately mandatory in your life. Discretionary time is where you can make the most adjustments in your schedule. You can't skip work, cut class, or go without sleep, but you can adjust the way you use your discretionary time. If you found that in a typical week you are studying less than recommended, and it is negatively impacting your grades, should you replace some discretionary activities with more opportunities to do coursework? These are the tough choices of time management. You only have 168 hours in a week. You might find that to use them effectively while a student at Lakeland, you might have to sacrifice some of your current activities. But remember, any sacrifice you make to be a successful student is temporary. the semester will eventually end, and you will eventually graduate. And after that, you might find that you can reintroduce whatever you had to temporarily sacrifice. At the very least, you will see clearly that making that tough choice with your time, that sacrifice, was well worth it, because it helped you be successful. In summary, here are some key takeaways. There are only 168 hours in a week. Some of these hours are committed time, while some of these hours are discretionary. You should adjust your use of discretionary time to become a better student, because doing well at Lakeland will take a lot of hard work. If you need more help, you might be able to find it in this list of resources available at Lakeland. This video was produced by the Office of College Readiness and Student Success at Lakeland Community College.